Hello, welcome to Salt City Knits. I'm Emily, and this is a podcast all about my making life and especially my knitting. And today is October 4th, and it's a very important holiday here in the US. It is National Taco Day, and that is a day we must celebrate. So I'm celebrating that for dinner tonight. It is a gorgeous, very cloudy, slightly rainy fall day here today. I am absolutely loving it, and I'm excited to be here podcasting. I missed last week due to just not feeling well, so happy to be here today. It's episode 19, and we're going to start off by announcing our first giveaway winners for the SCK Shawl Along. And so let's start with that. So today, these are from entries through September. And so all of the September entries, I drew 2 prizes. The first person will get this gorgeous sock set from a homespun house. And this is a Hocus Pocus sock set. So this color is, let's see, Hocus Pocus. And this one is called Marmalade. So this sock set is going to KC Knits, who entered a shawl that she had made. It's the Sky Storm shawl by Stephen West. And so congratulations, KC Knits. You will be getting this sock set, and I will reach out to you on Instagram, but you can see this. If you see this, you can message me as well. And then our second winner is receiving your choice of any of my sock patterns. And this person is Franny Doe Makes. So she knit is working on, I think it's still in progress, a Pure Joy shawl by Joji Locatelli. I have made that shawl and it's beautiful and it's super fun. So congratulations to Franny Doe Makes and KC Knits. Thank you for entering. So we are going to continue on with our knit along through the month of October. And again, double dipping is definitely encouraged. So if you are participating in any other make alongs right now that are involving shawls, then you are absolutely welcome to enter for this one as well. So make sure to post on Instagram and tag SCK Shawl Along. That's for Salt City Knits Shawl Along. And I will be drawing prizes at the end. It'll be the first week of November that I will draw for all of the entries through October. And I didn't bring the gifts up, the prize up. So it's actually a bundle. Yeah, I'll have to show that next time, but it is a very nice bundle of a solid skein and a mini skein set. Will be one prize. That would be great for making a Scrappy bias shawl or many other shawls. And then the other prize will be any of my shawl patterns of your choice. So that is coming up in another month. So you still have a month to participate. So I, again, will reach out to KC Knits and Franny Doe Makes, but thank you for all those who are participating in this knit along. This is my first knit along that I am hosting, or I should say make along, because really it can absolutely be knitted or crocheted. So yeah, absolutely make along. This is my first one I'm hosting all on my own here. Speaking of all on my own, I recently recorded a podcast with my sister Deborah over at Meanwhile at the Castle. And for those of you who are not familiar with Meanwhile at the Castle, probably most of you came here from there, but maybe not everybody. But Deborah and I did podcasts together. I think it was 6 years. It might have been 7. It was a long time. It's a long running podcast. And so we have only been separated out on our own starting this year. I think Deborah might have started a couple of months before I did. And she is at Candy Shop Yarns, but we thought it would be really fun to record together again. And so we just did a one-off recording Meanwhile at the Castle. And I think that posted I think it's been a little over a week ago. So if you are interested, you can go and check out that one as well. I will link that below. Today I have a little bit of a life update. I have some finished objects. I have one work in progress to show you, and some pattern news as well as some future making that I'm really excited about. So life update. This, as I said, this week, the fall weather has moved in, which I'm so grateful for. I absolutely love the autumn. I know that it's not for everybody. I know that there, especially people who struggle with winter, really can struggle sometimes with fall because it just reminds you that winter is coming, right? For me, it is my happy, happy, happy time. So yesterday, when it really started to get cool and rainy, my kids and I were in autumn heaven. We had such a good day. There were puzzles, there were audiobooks, we made soup and pumpkin muffins, and we played, Abby and I played some board games together. We didn't have a lot of time for that because we had lots of schoolwork to get done still, but we just had such a beautiful day, candles and, you know, all the good things. So just really, really enjoyed that. And one of our favorite fall activities here is to go for a drive through the canyon. Or we say the canyon as if there's one. We have canyons, many, along the Wasatch Front here. And so we went up to Mill Creek Canyon and through East Canyon last week on Wednesday. And I think we hit Mill Creek Canyon the day before all of the colors exploded there. So it was starting just a little bit, but it hadn't quite exploded with color yet. So I am going to go back hopefully tomorrow and drive through Mill Creek Canyon again. Mill Creek Canyon here is a smaller canyon. It's not one where there's huge throughways. It's a smaller road that goes through it. And the only reason to go to Mill Creek Canyon is to be in Mill Creek Canyon. You're not there to go on your way to somewhere else, if that makes sense. And so it's just more, there's more trees overarching the road and things like that. It's a very picturesque place, and there's lots of hiking and picnic spots and things like that. No camping allowed in that canyon, but it's just really beautiful. So I'll definitely go back. I think I'll go back tomorrow and see, because it has definitely cooled off, which means, I mean, you can just drive along the Wasatch Front here and look up at the mountains, and there's just streaks of deep reds and oranges because all of the colors are definitely changing in the mountains. And but we did go through East Canyon, and the colors were spectacular there. Our fall colors are so short-lived here, because once the weather starts to change, we pretty rapidly go from summer to winter weather and temperatures especially. It just happens so quickly. And so there's definitely kind of a rush to soak in as much of that autumnness as you can. Here in the valleys, the colors are just barely, some of the trees are just starting to get yellows. There's not a lot of colors yet here in the valleys, but in the mountains, wow. So I'm looking forward to going back there. I shared here a couple of pictures, but I didn't take very many while we were there. So that was really lovely. And just, my husband had the day off, and my favorite thing in the world is to kind of road trip with my husband. I absolutely love that. I bring my knitting, we just talk. He loves to drive. I love to be a passenger. And I joke now that I'm a passenger princess, and he is totally great with that. So we have so much fun together. This weekend is my birthday. I'm celebrating the birthday before a big birthday. So next year is a big birthday. But this year, it's a penultimate big birthday, if that makes sense. So I am going to, I have so much fun stuff planned. Sometimes it feels, especially as a mom, like your birthday is like, oh yeah, happy birthday in the middle. Now what's for dinner, right? But this week on Friday, I'm getting together for a knitting and lunch afternoon with some dear friends. And then on Saturday, my kids are taking me out to lunch. And Sunday, I've requested my husband to make my favorite meal that he cooks, which is fajitas. And then on Monday, we are going to go to a place here in Salt Lake called the Desert Star Playhouse. And it is a like spoof kind of theater. So they take movies or other plays or musicals, and they just turn them into, what is the word I'm looking for? Spoof is the only thing that's coming to mind. They're very, I don't know, they're very cheesy and short and supposed to be humorous and making fun of other things, but in a lighthearted way, family friendly. And it's like a dinner theater, so you can get food while you're there and just enjoy that. And my brother and his partner now wife gave us gift certificate for that Playhouse back for Christmas, and we haven't used it yet. So it's perfect that we're going to use it in celebrating my birthday. So I have so much fun stuff coming up this week to celebrate my birthday. I mean, it's another good reason to love October. All right, I think that's everything major that I wanted to catch you up with. And I'm excited to show you some finished objects. So my first finished object is this pair of socks. And I just cast these on, I think I actually cast them on the same day. I did. The same day we were recording together, Deborah and I. And these are just some fall, I'm calling them Scrappy socks. I did make them from mini skeins, not necessarily from scraps. But I pulled mini skeins together from Lay Family Yarns and from, what's the other yarn? Label. From Black Sheep Dyeworks. So this skein, oh, there are some scraps because these little like cinnamon colored ones are scraps. Okay, but this color that I used for heels or toes and cuffs is from Black Sheep Dyeworks. So this is, hold on, where are we gonna go? There we go, Black Sheep Dyeworks. This is the tag. And the heel color and this stripe, this is called Damson Plum. And where's the other tag? The other tag says, oh, this one is called Cinnabon. So that was those two colors. And then the rest, so other than this kind of brown cinnamon color, those two were scraps. But all the rest is from the Squiddle Village Yarn Club. That was a March yarn club. And I can't remember if Squiddle Village was 2022 or 2021. I think it was 2022. I'm pretty sure that the clubs for 21 were the rainbows from Lay Family Yarn. So this one, this self-striping, this color, and this speckle. So those were the four. You can see this one better here. This and this are the same one. And then the self-striping. I don't think it's really self-striping. It's more micro-striping. It's a variegated that's micro-striping here. And then this really pretty one. I love this one. It's very warm, like a peach color, but it fits so well with these beautiful fall colors. And then this gorgeous speckle right here. Those all are, oh, I just snagged, my nail is snaggy. Those are all Lay Family Yarns. I love me some Lay Family Yarns, just have to say. Kelly and her cute husband, who all of a sudden I forgot his name, Nick, right? Pretty sure it's Nick. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. Anyway, they are awesome. and they do such a beautiful job. And these were really fun to work on. It was just fun to pull some colors together. I knit my socks. This is a really typical formula for me, 64 stitches on 2.25 millimeter needles, which is a US #1. And I do a 20 row cuff, and then I do usually around 60 rows for the leg. And then I do a heel flap and gusset. Let's see if I can get that to focus. And I did 15 slip stitch rows. So a slip stitch heel. So that means it's a total of 30 rows for the heel flap. And turn and gusset. And then I do a rounded wedge toe. And I always like to knit 5 plain rounds with my contrast color before I start my toe decreases, just so that that contrast color line ends up a little bit higher on my foot. I do the same thing if I am working a patterned sock. I will end the patterning about 5 rows before I start my decreases. I just like the way that looks. So there's no functional reason for that. It's just a personal preference. So those fit great, and I love them. And I'm excited to put them into my drawer. All right, I have 3 other finished projects that are all designed by me, and they're not patterns that are out yet. So this is my first big reveal on these. So the first one, and a hair. Hair in your eyelashes is not a fun thing. The first one is this color work hat that I absolutely love. I love it so much. This was another one of those, like my Hocus Pocus themed, the Sanderson sisters cowl, where I got an idea and I had to do it immediately. And I knit it in like an afternoon and evening. So, I think I will be releasing this. I'm going to design some mittens to match with it. I don't have a name for it yet, but I used Malabrigo Rios. Here, let me take my old lady glasses off. And it is a very slouchy hat. I did that because I was working on a pattern for my daughter. I don't think these are her colors, but she loves this hat and she really likes a slouchy hat. So I'm going to put it on. I don't think I look very good in hats. I'm not really a hat wearing kind of girl. I just don't think they look that good on me. But there it is. So super fun. And this right now is in an adult medium. I will hopefully get that designed in multiple different sizes. But I really love just the color work. It's quite simple color work, and I really like how the color work looks on the crown. Has that really cool looking, like almost flower, not really flower, more like a star shape. I mean, that's hard to show you the way I've blocked it, but I like how it looks at the top. So that is the first thing I finished. And so I will be putting that pattern together along, like I said, with some mittens to match. I think that will be a really fun one coming up, especially for gift knitting. I really think this needs a pom-pom. So I have to go through, I've got so many pom-poms. But then again, the question is, but do I have the pom-pom to match this? Because I think a fake fur pom-pom would look so cute on that. And I think I need to knit another one that is not so deep. Just so I can see how it looks in more like a beanie fit. So that was one of my finished objects. And you know, one of the things I'm really happy with, a lot of times when you're working color work, I don't really like how it looks at the pattern at the beginning of round, how the pattern works up at the beginning of the round. And you can see it, especially because it's blocked quite with it, but you can see it there. But I think it looks pretty good. It's not, you know, it's not crazy ski-wampus. Anyway, Malabrigo Rios. It is just the squishiest yarn. It's just delightful. It's worsted weight, 100% superwash merino. Not awesome for sweaters. I have learned that myself, especially not for sweaters that are thickly cabled, because then there's so much weight in it. I knit an entire beautifully cabled shawl collared cardigan in my size. And this is before I had lost some weight, so even a larger size. And I ended up ripping the whole thing out. It was just too, too much stretch. Okay, the next thing. You guys, I'm so excited about this. Here, I'm going to talk about this one in a minute, but I have to talk about this shawl. It's my new love. This is the backcountry shawl that I have just recently finished, and I am in love with it. I love it so much. It is a crescent shaped shawl, knit in 3 colors. Oh, I love it. I'm going to insert some pictures here as well. So there's also some little sticks and leaves because of my photo shoot that I did with it. This shawl, it is as I said, a crescent shape that I knit in 3 colors of Malabrigo Ultimate Sock. This gold is Frank Ochre. This bluey green is Pascal. And then that pink is Neverland. And I love this edging here. Oh, it's so fun. So I took this shawl with me when we went up and visited and did our drive through the canyons. And I got some great, that feels great. I'm definitely wearing that now. Got some great pictures of it, and I just am really excited about it. So I am in the process of writing it all up, and then I'll be sending it to my tech editor. But I'll be putting out a testing call soon for this one. It's just so delightful. I think this is going to be I'll probably release this in January is my goal. I think it's going to be a great one to work on through midwinter. But oh my goodness, I love it. It used 90%, so a good amount of the gold and of the pink, and about half of a skein. So it's a little bit more than half the skein. So you would need 3 skeins. Like I said, I keep finding little tiny twigs and things. But this is the backcountry shawl. I am in love. I'm in love with it. I absolutely adore it. It makes me so happy. And I'm trying to think what else I want to say about it. I'll talk more about it later. But this is one of the things I've been working on that I haven't been able to show. And this has been a really interesting design experience for me, because I had a completely different shawl in mind for these 3 colors of yarn. I bought them together with the purpose of designing a 3-color shawl back in, I want to say, April. And I had a completely different vision for where I was going to go with this. And every time I would work on that, I just wasn't satisfied with how it was working with the colors, with the yarn. I felt like it just didn't, I don't know, it wasn't showing them off, and I wasn't really pleased with it. And I finally settled in on this design, and I am thrilled with it. I absolutely loved it. And I think in any creative endeavor, there's this idea, or there's this time you come to when you're creating something where you start to question, is this actually going to be any good? And I am learning more and more, this is the time to just keep pushing through and trust your vision, and at least give it the chance to come to fruition. Don't scrap it in the middle. Maybe you're going to get to the end and it isn't what you wanted. But if you just keep pushing through, you might surprise yourself, because I am absolutely in love with this shawl. And there were times when I was even in the process that I thought, oh, is this really, I think it's going to be great, but I'm not sure. So I really, really love it. Oh, anyway, backcountry shawl, my new baby. And I have another one. So these are 3 designs in a row because that's just what I keep wanting to do. So one of the other things I really wanted to do was to design a single skein project. I don't know about you, but my yarn stash is filled with beautiful single skeins of fingering weight yarn. And yes, I can knit them into socks, but not every skein of yarn needs to be a pair of socks. And I for sure don't need all of the socks, but I wanted to try my hand at a single skein project. So this is, I don't know if I want to call it a scarf. I think I'm going to call it a scarf. It's like a scarf or a shawl. And this is as yet unnamed project. Here, come on, focus on my lace here. There's this lace panel that runs down the center of it. And it comes to a point. And I really love, let's see if I can get it to show. I love, it's not really showing up. Let's try this other one, see if it'll focus on this end. The lighting is changing dramatically because of the clouds. Come on, focus, there we go. I just love the way the lace, okay, here it is. I can't get it to focus. I love the way the lace grows from the point up into the center and then to the other end. And it is a really fun project. It's the same lace pattern, repeated. So once you get the ends and you grow into that lace, then it becomes very, very easy to memorize, to work the bulk of the project. And then you have to look at it again as you're decreasing back down to the point, but that's really fun. I am gonna try this one again in a solid because, or at least a more monochromatic tonal, because I feel like this yarn and this pattern kind of, each one wants to be the star of the show and they can't be. So this yarn is from my stash and I'm not sure who dyed it, but it's really pretty and autumnal. So I'm excited to wear that. I recently got a new coat for this next winter. I'm not really a coat wearing person. I don't really like coats. I tend to wear sweaters. I'll even layer sweaters, have like a, more fitted cardigan and then like a big bulky one over it if I'm going out. But last winter, I really missed having a coat. I needed it. And nothing that I had before fits me still. So I got a new coat and it's black. And I don't wear a lot of black, especially a lot of black, right? Even if I wear black, I tend to wear it with other color to break it up. So I definitely need bright, or not even bright, but rich, beautiful colors to go with my black coat as I go into winter. Not yet, enjoying the fall. But that I am excited about. So I will show that more when I have it in another colorway, and be working on that pattern as well. So those are all those things I have been knitting on. Next week, we have our secret exchange. So after that, at my knit night, after that, I will be able to share with you those secret projects that I have been making. Super fun. Okay, let's talk about works in progress. Do I have one? I think I just have one to show you right now. Yes, that's what I said. So I desperately wanted to do something fun for Halloween time, and I got this adorable little bag by Sew Sandy Sew. Let's see, that label's probably not going to show up. No. Sew SEW. It's a cute little bag. I love this gingham in the contrast with the little skeletons and spider webs and pumpkins and bats and so on. And it's got this really cute polka dot lining. And you know what I really like? This drawstring is ever so slightly stretchy. It's not really stretchy. It's just that the cord has a little bit of give, if that makes sense, just in the way it's woven. But for some reason, it's really fun to the silly things that make me happy. Anyway, when she sent the bag, she also sent this little package of stitch markers. Those, just the bulb stitch markers. Here, focus in. Oh, here, you could probably see this better. Nope. There we go. And they're fun because they're in whites and white, orange, black, and silver. So just some little bulb stitch markers. I love it. I mean, I do not expect it, and I do not think it is a requirement for makers to include extras in their packages. They already are making something beautiful, and that is fantastic. But when they do, it's always a fun surprise. So that was fun for that to come along. So this is just a little baby cast on, but I am knitting a black and white sock. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this very well. I've just started into the color work. Come on. I need my yarn to free up a little bit. I don't think it's really going to show up very well, but I've just, oh, here, maybe that shows. I've just started into the color work, and I'm doing a really simple color work pattern that is not, it's not spider webs. It's just a little reminiscent of spider webs. So that's kind of my goal, is to just give it's a nod to spider webs. How does that sound? And it's just in black and white. And I do not knit black very often. I don't think most of us, I mean, even if you love to wear black, it can be hard to knit black yarn. I will tell you what, these glasses and that lamp right there, that is a new addition, by the way. It has been a great addition because that's my favorite knitting chair right there. And I do not have enough light over there. And finally last week I was like, that's it. I can't do this anymore. And so I ordered that lamp. Oh my goodness. It's so great. It like is right over my chair. It is excellent. So that is going to be very helpful, but it's just a little baby. So that's all I've done so far. Again, I'm knitting this out of Malabrigo Ultimate Sock. I've been on such a Malabrigo kick lately. I never liked Malabrigo sock yarn for socks. Malabrigo sock for years, it's just 100% superwash merino, and it did not have the durability that I needed. I did knit a pair of socks in it and wore through them so fast. But Ultimate Sock, which I don't know how long Ultimate Sock has been out. It's not, I think it's a newer base. Somebody can feel free to correct me if you have any ideas. If that has been out forever, then I feel really ridiculous. But I don't think it's been out for years and years, but I don't know how long. But their Ultimate Sock is a 75-25. I think it's 75-25. Do I have a label right here? Nope, I don't have a label right here, but I'm pretty sure it's a 75-25 blend. And yeah, so I'm just knitting that in ivory and black. Those are the two colors that I'm using. I just realized I am lying to you. This is not Malabrigo. It's just the black one that is. This is a skein of 75-25 4 ply that I still have from when I used to dye yarn for my business, the Yarnbrary. And that's just an undyed skein. So, but the black is Malabrigo. And the colorway is called black. Anyway, but it's super fun to keep in this little bag. Just a fun project. I, for years, had a hard time figuring out how I wanted to tension my yarn and hold my yarn when I was doing color work. And I definitely am in the one strand in each hand camp now. And I feel like I've really settled into that finally. It's taken me a long time to feel like I'm good at that. But I know that even sometimes my hands will get a little bit tired tensioning with both hands. And so I'll go back to dropping my strands, but it's so much easier for me in the method that I do to catch my floats when I am controlling my yarn with one strand in each hand. It just becomes part of the process and I don't get twisted strands and things like that. So I just always will go back to that. But golly, I'll tell you, color work is so addictive. I mean, you know, working striped socks or scrappy socks or things like that are really addictive because you always want to get to that one more row, one more pattern repeat, one more color. That's how it absolutely is with color work. It's so much fun. Okay. So those are all the works in progress that that's the only one I have that I can show right now. I do have other designs in the works as well. Okay, so pattern news. I've already showed you some new designs, but I am so happy to announce that the Sugarhouse Shawl pattern is now available. It's on Ravelry, it's on at yarnbrary.com, and I am just thrilled with it. I love how it's turned out. I love that my mom is my model on the pattern, and I've loved seeing my testers and their photos. So it's been really awesome to get that rolling. Again, this pattern is knit on a US size 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter. Yes. 3.75 millimeter needle, and it uses 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, and you need to make sure that your fingering weight yarn has at least 437 yards. So if you are using, for example, a single ply or maybe a stellina that comes in only 400 yards to 100 grams, that will not be sufficient. You want one that's got at least 437 yards. And then if your gauge is much different, then that will also affect it, of course. But I love it in 2 colors. So you've got one skein that you use for the main body of the shawl, and the second skein you use for the ruffle. And you really do use most of both of those skeins, even though it looks like this body would take up a lot more yarn because of how much wider it is. But your ruffle is actually a lot longer than you realize because of all of the, you know, basically the gathers. And so it does use most of both of those skeins. And I knit this sample is knit in Candy Shop yarns in 2 of the yarns from her Mermaid collection, which is so stunning. This colorway is called Mermaids Kiss, and this one is called Seaside Sunset for the ruffle. Both of these are on a gold stellina base, which the stellina is not showing up, sadly, on the video. But in person, it's so sparkly, which mermaids, you gotta have some sparkle, right? Oh, it's just so fun. And this one, I absolutely love wearing kind of, I've been showing it backwards this whole time. Here's the front. Basically the same. It's just the ruffle that changes. The body of it is pretty much the same on both sides. But I love wearing it wrapped this direction because you just get that beautiful arch with the ruffle around it, and it's just so cute. It's a long crescent shape. The body is knit from one end to the other, and then the stitches are picked up, and then the ruffle is knit down. And it's just really, really fun. So this is the Sugarhouse Shawl, and it is now available on Ravelry and on my website. Links are below, but I'm really proud of that one. It's so much fun. It's actually quite a quick knit. The body of it is especially quick. The ruffle can feel long because the rows are very long. However, it's the same number, like, I don't know. I think that we maybe, at least for me, a long row or lots of shorter rows they're still the same number of stitches, right? So that's how I feel about it, but it's just fun. So that one is now available. And I will be working on writing this one up and my single skein shawl and my hat and mittens pattern. So lots coming. I might decide to write up this sock that I'm knitting. We'll see. I'm not sure. I haven't decided. Right now, I just want to knit it just to enjoy it, you know. Okay, I have some future knitting that I'm very excited about. And I have talked briefly about this before, but this week is the release of Stephen West's Mystery Knit Along and the Geo Gradient. And I am knitting this, and I got my yarn. And so I have to show you. My yarn came from Dandelion and Dogwood, and I got this cute bag. One thing people might not know is that Amy, who is part of Dandelion and Dogwood, is the artist who drew or designed that gorgeous logo, which I love. I mean, who wouldn't want to knit with flower stems? Come on. I love this. I love their yarn. So Dandelion and Dogwood yarns. Here's their label. Oh, let's try that again. Come on. There we go. And I am knitting on their fairy sock base, which is a 75% merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. And I think I did, yeah, it's gold stellina. And there are 400 meters per 100 grams. I think that works out to roughly 425. I could be completely, I think it's around 425 yards. I used to have this in my head, but it's not in my head right now. Okay, you ready to see my colors? I hope I can remember their names. She didn't name them. I just messaged them and said, these are my colors I'd really love. And so they kind of dyed them up. But my label is labeled Emily's Choice. So that's pretty excellent. But this is my gradient. Can you just look at that? It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Do you ever just need to smell your yarn? I know this one is called Maybe Baby. This is like quintessential Dandelion and Dogwood color. Maybe Baby. I don't remember what the rest of these are called. And you know what? The only possibility, yeah, I don't remember. You know what? I can look it up. I will look it up and I will put it on in the show notes below. But I'm really loving that color. I think this one might be called Cinnabon. I might just be making that up. I'm not quite sure. But I love this pinky gold and almost like brick, well, kind of, yeah, cinnamon color with the sparkle. Again, you can't get the sparkle in person. They're so sparkly. So this is my gradient for the Geo Gradient. And the way I feel, and I think I've mentioned this, but the way I feel about Mystery Knit-Alongs, and a kind of almost especially a West Knits Mystery Knit-Along, is that you really don't know how you're gonna feel about that finished project. This is a process knit, not a product knit. You're not knitting this for the end product. You're knitting this for the experience of knitting it. And hopefully you end up loving that end product, but there's always a chance that you won't. There's a lot of Stephen West patterns that I think are jaw-droppingly, stunningly beautiful. And there are others that are not my taste at all. There's no way I would ever want to knit them if I just went based on that. But I love the process, and I love Stephen West's tutorials and videos that he makes. I love knitting along with others. I have two other friends in my knit group who we both did the Mystery Knit Along last year, and we're both doing it again this year. So it's fun for us to kind of share pictures and check in and see how people are doing. All three of us really love it. And so there's all of those things, and it's just the fun surprise. So I may not end up loving the shawl, but I tell you what, I am going to love staring at these yarns for the next month as I work on it. And I'm going to love the process and everything that I learn, and the experience of knitting along with other people. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I love that it comes right around my birthday. It's always, you know, within a couple days of my birthday. So it's really fun to, I think of it as my birthday present. This yarn is definitely my birthday present. Yeah. Love it, love it. Super excited. I am going to cake these up now that I've shown them to you, and pick out, I'm probably not going to use this bag that I got from Amy and Jen to keep my project in. I think I want to find like a basket. Yeah. I want to make it, it's an event. I'm going to put like all the goodies together to make it perfect. So where did that other skein of yarn go? The yarn has been rescued. Okay. I think that's everything I wanted to share with you today. So please, please join in our knit along. And if you are, this is one thing I do want to ask. I want to know if you are participating in the Stephen West knit along, and if so, what colors or what yarns you're using. I would really love to know that. So please comment below and tell me that. If you've enjoyed today's video, I hope you will click on the subscribe button so that you can find all of my videos that come out. And I am going to be back next week. I'll get to update you on all my birthday celebrations and on my progress on the mystery knit along. So I will talk to you all then. And until then, have a great time with all of your making, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.